guys, I'm back again. I'm gonna make another video, short video. I made a short one of putting the center caps onto the factory hubcaps. I posted that up just a little bit ago. Now what I want to do is I'm gonna do another video real quick here on putting portholes and the stars onto the wheel skirts. I'm sorry, not the Continental kit, the wheel skirts. Now, a lot of times you'll see 2 portholes and 3 stars. In this case, they are only doing 2 portholes and 2 stars. Now, you can get stencils, paper stencil that you tape onto your wheel skirt, and it has it already marked out where to drill your holes. It makes it a lot easier. If anybody follows Lone Star Lowe's on YouTube, he actually makes a paper template and sells them on eBay. I'm not sure what the price is. I looked at it the other day, but I don't remember what he charges. But it's nice because it has like a reference point right here on the paper, and you lay it on there and you tape it onto here, and then you just have perfect spots to drill your holes. Now on his template, it shows he has 2 portholes and 3 stars. We're only using 2, but you could still use his template if you're only using 2, because you can just do your 2 portholes and 2 stars and just not drill those last 2 holes. Now, I'm gonna move my portholes a little bit farther this way than what he has them. I think he's about 1.5 inches, but you gotta keep in mind he has a 3rd star. So I measured 3 inches off the back here, and right there's 3 inches. And then I want a 2-inch spacing between the 2 portholes. Right about there. And then I think I'm gonna go about 1.5 inch spacing on these, because they're smaller. Right there's 1.5 inches. And right there's 1.5 inches. So that's what it's gonna look like when they're in place. Now you wanna make sure that these stars are in the center of the porthole. And also I need to measure from the bottom up to the bottom of the porthole so I can get an idea. I want to make sure I put it the same, 1.5 inches. So this is 1.5 inches. I'm just going to look at it visually. I mean, the paper stencils is going to definitely be way easier to do than what I'm doing here. I would definitely recommend buying them. What I did was I pushed down pretty hard with the studs on the back here, and then I was able to get my reference point. Now remember, we're 1.5 inches from the bottom to the bottom of the port. Now these measurements are what I come up with. There's really no rhyme or reason where these have to be. There's no set thing in the world saying you have to put these here, and that's it. It's kind of a personal preference, you know. You want to run 3 portholes, you could probably run 3 portholes. You know, it just all depends on what you want to do. Okay, we're 2 inches. And we're 1.5 inches right there. I'm going to remove this one off here just so I don't knock it off onto the floor. I'm going to do the same thing again. Make sure it looks good. Make sure I'm happy with it. Kind of push on it. Hopefully we'll leave a little mark in the paint like we did on the last one. That mark here and a mark there. And I always take it and hold it back over top just to make sure. And that looks good. So now we have that one. So I'm going to stick this studs right on top of those black marks. Now I'm going to do, like I said, I want 1.5 inches space between the first star and that porthole. And I'm going to leave that porthole in place. Okay, this one I'm just going to eyeball it, and we'll measure the next one. Okay, so that goes there. Okay, now I'm going to measure 1.5 inches off of this one, which it's already in place, right there. So I'm going to measure from the stud, from where I marked that hole down to the bottom, and it's 3 inches. So now I know that I want to be at 3 inches. Okay, I'm just gonna remeasure. Now I'm gonna move these stars out of the way and the porthole. And I wanna do another measurement here. From the center of this mark to the bottom, 3 1/8, 3 1/8, hair over 3 1/8, so I'm gonna come down a tiny bit. If it's off a 16th, nobody's gonna see it. Okay, so now we have our holes marked. We're gonna take our drill bit here. I have, what size drill bit do I have in here? Right now I have a 13/64 drill bit. And let's see how that, it's just a little bit bigger than the star, or the stud. So that should be good. We might need to go one size bigger. Not sure yet. So let's go ahead and drill some holes. Now I am going to put some paint on these edges of this bare metal here, just to keep it from wanting to rust. And don't push hard, just go nice and gentle. Let the drill bit do the work. I want to make sure these fit in there before I paint. Beautiful. Gonna take the nuts off of the bottom of this. Now these portholes go on one way. I'm gonna have to double check the picture to make sure I don't put them on backwards. Okay, we're a hair off on that one. Okay, so we should be able to just kind of oblong this a little bit. I am going to check the picture to make sure that I am putting these on the right way. Well, we'll use a little bit more. Try not to rub your metal shavings on your paint, because if you run it, along the paint, you'll end up scratching it. Okay. Oh, you know what? Stud nuts are still on this one. I wonder why they wouldn't go down all the way in the back. Okay, let me show you this porthole here. So this has like recessed, and then this is kind of hangs out. I believe this goes towards the back, so that if this were a real exhaust pipe, it'd be coming through like this and then blowing out that way. But I am gonna look and verify that before I say that for sure. But that's what that looks like. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna verify that those are going the right direction. After I do that, I'm gonna go get some paint, come back, we're gonna brush touch inside those holes, then we can get these bolted on and we get a good look at what it looks like. So I will be back in a couple minutes. Yes, I was correct. The opening part goes towards the front. The other part goes towards the back. I just have some single stage paint here. This is actually like a bluish color. It's not the right color for the car. I do have the right color paint, but this is single stage. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna be a little bit thicker of a paint to go around those edges. I'm not worried about it not being the right color because there's a nut that going on the backside. And the speed nuts for the stars have a real big built-in washer on them, so you're never gonna see that paint. Plus, these wheel skirts, we end up bolting them to the car, not clipping them to the car, because people like to steal these. And by bolting them to the car, it's a lot harder to take them off than it would be to, you know, leave them as is. So let me, we're gonna pull these off, brush some paint in those holes, and then we are going to install these four, and then I'll set the camera up or take it off the tripod and try to get a better look, give you guys a better look at it. So we just want to take some of this. This is actually Area 51 blue paint from a Ford Bronco. I just happen to have this mixed in a little touch-up bottle here, and I know that it's single stage. Ideally, it would be nice to drill these holes before you paint. Oh boy, that's what you really want to do. But I did not have this stuff at that time, so I couldn't do that. I got a little bit on the paint there, I'll get it off. I got some lacquer thinner over here. And it's okay if you can put lacquer thinner on clear coat. You just don't want to let a rag sit on there for a long period of time. Man, I'm making a mess. Okay, so now at least those bare metal areas are coated. Should take a little paper towel here and a little bit of lacquer thinner, and we'll lightly get this off of here. If you're using a good quality clear coat, the lacquer thinner briefly like this is not going to hurt it. If you're using a single stage paint, I would definitely not recommend that, because you will screw up your paint. I managed to make a pretty good mess here. All right, let me see if this will cover the mess. Beautiful. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to go grab a nut driver for those speed nuts. Let me get these started first. Hopefully this stuff helps you guys out if you guys are doing this. Until you've done it a couple times, it's nice to be able to reference a video or something to see how somebody else does it or other people do it. Okay, the nut driver for the stars is good. I gotta grab one for these. Actually, you know what? I have sockets over here. I'll just use that real quick. Be a little bit easier because those studs are a little long. Just use a deep well socket here. The nuts on those portholes look like a 5/16. Let me verify. Yep, they're 5/16. You want to tighten them pretty good, but don't go cranking them down super duper tight, because A, you're going to dig into your paint, and I don't know if you'll snap off one of those studs or not. And what's nice about these nuts for the portholes is they have star washers on the back of them, so that keeps them from wanting to spin loose again. And what the heck? The speed nuts they give you for the stars don't want to fit. No, they're too big. I know there's not a ton of body work on these. All right, I'm gonna have to go grab some more speed nuts. A little smaller hole in there. These things don't want to start tightening on those shafts of those stars until they're right up against it. So let me go grab some smaller ones of these real quick. All right, I brought my drawer of different size speed nuts here. This one looks a little smaller. Let's try it. Perfect. So what I'll do is I'll just take the ones that were a little big, throw them in my drawer. Because at some point I'm sure I will need them. Beautiful. I'll show you what it looks like on the back side after I show you the front here. So there we go. Ready to go on the car. If you look down, they're nice and straight with the bottom. And there's the back side. I painted these really nice on the back side just to make sure that they're protected. All the nuts and everything are all the same. Everything matches. Now, like I said, there's no real rhyme or reason to putting these on. You can do it any way you want. I mean, if you want to have a third star right here, you can. It's just what you want, personal preference. There never really was any certain way of doing it. So, all right, guys, just another quick video here on how to put the portholes and stars on the cruiser skirts. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up button. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, I will see you guys later.